the door, I'm home at last, and I'm soaking through and through. And then you handed me a towel, and all I see is you. And even if my house falls down now, I wouldn't have a clue, because you're near me. And I want to thank you for giving me the best day of my life. And just to be with you is having the best day of my life. And I want to thank you for giving me the best day of my life. And just to be with you is having the best day of my life.
This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network. We broadcast from our studios at 6 Bradley Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band. 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester. Transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Coopers Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James. Serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
A very good morning to you. I'm Tona Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Thursday, March 20, 2025. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is set to make his contribution to the budget debate later on Thursday. Government Senator Marlon Morgan questions the funding plans behind budget proposals laid out by opposition leader Mark Golding. And the Realtors Association says the housing initiatives proposed by Mr. Golding are well-intentioned. In regional news, 2 men jailed in $1 million cocaine bust in St. Lucia. In international news, Trump to sign executive order to shut down the U.S. Education Department. In sports, Waterhouse beat Very United 2-1 at Jerusalem in the Ren Nephi Jamaica Premier League on Wednesday. And in business, the U.S. Central Bank cuts growth forecast. The details after the break.
Experience the joy of buying a brand new Hyundai without breaking the bank. Yes, buying a brand new car should never leave you broke. From stylish designs and safety features to comfortable driving and reliability, Hyundai is the choice. Hyundai vehicles come standard with 2 years free service and 5 years warranty and roadside assistance for your peace of mind. Drive 2 years without service cost and 5 years without fear of being stranded. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
Catch the first news of the day, a comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is set to make his contribution to the budget debate in the House of Representatives later on Thursday. It will be the fourth and penultimate speech in a debate which climaxes next Tuesday with the second presentation by Finance Minister Favour Williams. The Prime Minister is expected to outline how his government will pivot from macroeconomic stability to meaningful growth. He's also expected to tell the country why voters should give his party a historic historic consecutive term in office based on its accomplishments since 2016. Dr. Holness is also expected to show how his administration intends to support the security forces in their work to further reduce the incidence of major crimes such as murders and shootings. The Prime Minister's presentation is set to begin at about 2 p.m. and will be carried live on Nationwide 90 FM. Government Senator Marlon Morgan is questioning the funding plans behind several proposals laid out by opposition leader Mark Golding in his budget presentation on Tuesday. Senator Morgan was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Wednesday.
The PNP is giving up a lot of revenue based on their proposals, but at the same time suggesting that they're going to be doing so much more. The question this evening is how come? How can you be proposing to do so much more with such fewer resources? It doesn't compute, it is not credible, and it is not rocket science, gentlemen, as to why they have not properly costed this thing and presented it in clear and no uncertain terms to the people of Jamaica, the very people who they will be calling on in a few weeks or months from now to vote for them to form government.
Among the plans presented by Mark Golding is a major push to help provide affordable housing through a $1 billion loan facility for first-time buyers under the age of 35. Golding says the next PNP government will also provide financial support to local food producers through the establishment of an agricultural development fund. Senator Morgan says the opposition leader's plans lack credibility.
To the extent that the PNP, having all of 4.5 years under Mark Golding's incumbency as party leader, failed to do that in terms of this cycle of the budget debate. They have come with some proposals. A number of them I consider to be not well thought out. A number of them are quite frankly half-baked. And most importantly, there has been no costing to what it is that the PNP has placed on the table. And as such, the credibility of these proposals have to be in question, because it cannot be that we're in the throes of the budget debate, the last one before the country is sent to the polls in terms of general elections, and you have failed to come in a very compelling and credible way.
Marlon Morgan, Government Senator. First Vice President of the Realtors Association of Jamaica, Judy Benjamin, says that the housing initiatives proposed by opposition leader Mark Golding are well-intentioned. Golding outlined a raft of policies during his contribution to the budget debate on Tuesday in the House of Representatives. Ms. Benjamin says any plan to make home ownership easier in Jamaica is welcomed.
I think the ideas are good, it's a good intention, but like everything else, we have to wait to see how it will work. So we don't have a rent-own culture in Jamaica, so that will take us a little while to get going. The other thing that you didn't mention, but it jumped out at me, is that he mentioned using the HAJ as our lead developer of low income. I would love us to do a study on the effectiveness of what they have done in the past compared to other low-income developers. You know what I mean? So I think it needs some tweaking. There are questions, but we appreciate the effort in order to make home ownership more viable for more people in the country.
Judy Benjamin, first Vice President of the Realtors Association of Jamaica. Golding has pledged to put an end to the annual transfer of $11.4 billion from the National Housing Trust, NHT, to the Consolidated Fund. The transfer currently contributes to the government's annual budget. He also committed that a future PNP administration would cover insurance payments on NHT loans for low-income earners. The opposition leader also proposed a rent-to-own initiative through the NHT. He promised lower NHT interest rates for public sector workers and the creation of a Young Owners Deposit Fund. Under this fund, individuals 35 and younger would be eligible for a $500,000 grant to assist with their housing deposit. President of the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise MSME Alliance, Antoinette Hamilton, says the proposed initiatives demonstrate that Golding is listening to ordinary Jamaicans.
The opposition leader is on the ground. He's hearing from the ordinary Jamaicans, the hairdressers, the taxi operators, the nail technicians, the barbers, that, look, we can't afford these houses. We are getting $7.5 million from the NHT. There's no house on the market for that right now. And most of those houses will separate families. And so when I heard about assisting with deposits, assisting with, the rent to own, especially that one. That was very good. I mean, it at least gives hope to those ordinary Jamaicans who feel like owning a home is out of their reach.
Antoinette Hamilton, president of the MSME Alliance, both were guests on Nationwide at 5 on Wednesday. 2 suspects in the attempted robbery of Feng's supermarket on Church Street, Montego Bay in St. James on Tuesday were shot and killed in separate incidents by the police on Wednesday. One of the fatal shootings occurred minutes after 4 p.m. on Gulpeace Lane in the Salt Spring community. The second incident happened just under an hour later on Albion Lane in Montego Bay. A pistol was seized in each of the incidents. Reports are that the lawmen, acting on intelligence, went to the locations in a bid to apprehend at least 2 suspects in the attempted robbery of the supermarket on Tuesday night. The police say when lawmen approached the premises on Gulpeace Lane, they were fired upon. The fire was returned. When the shooting subsided, a man was found with gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead at hospital. The police say they found a pistol at the scene along with 2 bags of coins allegedly taken from the supermarket. They say they also found a pair of bloody shoes and bloody clothes consistent with what one of these suspects was wearing at the time of the attempted robbery. Details of the second fatal shooting are unknown at this time. Meanwhile, the 2 policemen shot during Tuesday's attempted robbery remain in hospital in stable condition. A large bushfire close to the Morant Bay Urban Centre in St. Thomas has been extinguished. The blaze that broke out on lands adjacent to the urban centre engulfed a wide area of land and raged for several hours on Wednesday evening. The fire was brought under control and extinguished between late Wednesday night and early this morning. Nationwide News understands that the area is prone to fires during the dry season. Health specialist at UNICEF Jamaica, Novia Condell, says it's imperative that the government regulate the nutrition of children and adolescents. She made the statement at an editors' forum on healthy food policies for children and youth at the UWI regional headquarters on Wednesday.
Good nutrition is prevention, and as such it is critical that government regulates the food environment to make sure that children, adolescents have the best nutrition possible for their health and well-being. Research is also coming up now that is showing a connection between bad nutrition, or malnutrition if you want to call it, because malnutrition is not just a lack of food, it is the quality of food, and mental health. So we're seeing where nutrition is impacting health in various ways, and it is deeply concerning the high rate of increase in obesity among our adolescents in Jamaica.
The UN Convention on the Rights of the Child affirms a child's right to safe and nutritious food. A position paper summary on the marketing of unhealthy foods, written by the Jamaica Youth Advocacy Network, JYAN, revealed that many Jamaican schools lack clear policies regulating food marketing. The report adds that food corporations are targeting children directly. Condell says there can be no compromise about the quality of food provided to children.
Food policies are essential to protecting our children. Jamaica is signatory to the Convention on the Rights of the Child, which enshrines within it the right of every single Jamaican child to the highest standard of health. Nutrition is central to the highest standard of health. If a child receives good nutrition from the very earliest stages throughout their lifetime, that child is already in prevention status that will prevent a lifetime of NCDs, non-communicable diseases, which are the #1 cause of death in Jamaica.
Novia Condell, health specialist at UNICEF, JYN, has expressed frustration over the delayed implementation of a school nutrition policy in Jamaica. The advocacy group has noted that the prevalence of ultra-processed foods and sugar-sweetened beverages in school environments has contributed significantly to this growing crisis. It says research has shown that marketing has a big impact on children's food preferences, and this is increasing their consumption of unhealthy foods. An investigation has been launched into allegations of a breach in PEP examination procedures at a private prep school in Oteria St. Anne. The exam was written on Wednesday morning. Education Ministry officials confirmed to Nationwide News that they have reports of a breach at the unidentified school. However, they're insisting that there was no cheating and the integrity of the performance task English language exam was secure. Reports are that at the prep school, the English language papers were taken to the examination room and were distributed by the principal and one of the teachers at the school. Ministry of Education rules and protocols prohibit any such rule by the principal and staff of the school. There were 2 independent invigilators and a presiding examiner in the room to carry out the task. A parent who was observing the events called the Ministry of Education's regional office to report the matter. An education officer who had been at the school earlier was instructed to return immediately. The officer reportedly spoke with the principal and had the invigilators take control of the process. Ministry officials say they were sure there had been no cheating as the examinations had not yet started at the time. The government is creating a second compressed natural gas CNG fueling plant. This is to service 70 new CNG buses being added to the fleet of the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz made the disclosure during a media briefing at the ministry's office in St. Andrew on Tuesday.
The ministry is actively taking steps to establish a compressed natural gas facility to be able to provide fuel for new buses which are expected to arrive here in June to July. So it means that currently we have a CNG plant at the Portmore Depot with 125 CNG buses, which are new buses over the last 18 months. We have another 70 CNG buses arriving in June, July. This will require us to put a new CNG plant at the Spanish Town Depot, and we are hoping that we'll have that up and running between August and September in time for the new school year.
Darrell Vaz, the Transport Minister. The JUTC currently has over 100 CNG buses in its fleet. Minister Vaz says the latest additions will include 30 coach buses for the charter service. He says the addition of the second facility follows the recent increase in the number of CNG fueling pumps at the Portmore Depot. This, Minister Vaz says, has enhanced the JUTC's fueling capacity by 300%. Last year, Minister Vaz indicated that the cost to fill one of the new CNG buses with fuel was a third of the amount for a diesel unit. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Win with love. Use your JMMB Money Transfer Prepaid Visa Card from October 1, 2024 to June 30, 2025 for a chance to win your share of a $2.1 million grand prize, plus a $100,000 university cash grant and cash back from paying tolls and shopping with your card. Receive money 24/7 in minutes with Visa Direct via MoneyGram, Zoom, Remitly, or directly through RIA and Zoom. Visit jm.jmmb.com/money-transfer for full details on how to enter and win with love. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply.
Calling all tradesmen, small contractors, skilled workmen, and small entrepreneurs. Whether you want to start or expand your business or get equipment for your projects, Total Tools will help you tool up and expand your business. Get up to $500,000 to borrow, up to 2 years to repay, and interest rates as low as 3.99%. Come for your loan to get your tools. Offer ends June 2025. Visit Total Tools in Kingston, Ocho Rios, and Drex Hall to get a loan for every tool and every trade.
The Conference of Choice is back. Join us April 29 to 30 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel Kingston and online for the world's only Middle Managers Leadership Conference. Hear from 30 business leaders across 4 continents. Expand your network, gain strategies, and elevate your leadership. Learn, connect, and grow with experts. Limited on-site spaces available. Register now at makeyourmarkgroup.com or call 876-978-60022. MMC 2025, a legacy of transformation and execution.
In regional and international news this morning, regional news, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force has charged 2 men in relation to a major drug and firearms seizure. The men, Lucius Popo and Kiri Richardson, are charged with possession of controlled drugs and possession of controlled drugs with intent to supply to another. The police report that a car with Popo and the driver and Richardson as a passenger was searched in a joint effort by the Tactical Response Unit and the Gang, Narcotic and Firearms Unit. The team reportedly found 2 black packages containing 50 blocks of a white substance suspected to be cocaine. The estimated street value of the drugs is 1.4 million Eastern Caribbean dollars. The lawmen also found a Glock pistol, 15 rounds of ammunition as well. The defendants have been remanded in custody until April 17. International, U.S. President Donald Trump is expected to sign a long-anticipated executive order on Thursday that aims to shut down the Department of Education. The impending shutdown was one of Trump's key campaign pledges. A group of Democratic state attorneys general have filed a lawsuit seeking to block Trump from dismantling the department and halt the layoffs of nearly half of its staff. Leading civil rights group NAACP also blasted the expected order as unconstitutional. It calls the move a dark day for the millions of American children who depend on federal funding for quality education. Trump and his billionaire advisor Elon Musk have attempted to shut down government programs and institutions such as the U.S. Agency for International Development without congressional approval. Abolishing the Department of Education would be their first bid to shut down a cabinet-level agency. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
When sunshine has the best for you, nature's best buns so crunchy. The flavor that sings to you, salted banana and plantain. Taste the freshness, naturally sweet. The flavor that sings to you.
Ayo, nature's best bunch.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Digicel, live life your way, no free what? Digicel postpaid. With Digicel postpaid, it's all about you. Sign up or pay your bills to stay active for a chance to win a luxurious all-expense paid trip for 2 to Royalton, Antigua. With round-trip flights on us, every week you could win exciting prizes. Event tickets, gym memberships, spa packages, excursion adventures, restaurant vouchers, and more. When you opt in on the My Digicel app, life your way starts now with Digicel. Better connected.
Promotion ends March 31. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Time now for your morning sports. Former champions Waterhouse beat relegation threatened Vere United 2-1 at Druseland in the late game in the Rare Nephew Jamaica Premier League on Wednesday. Denzel McKenzie gave Vere the lead on 32 minutes. Leonardo Jebison equalized for Waterhouse in the 71st minute before Andre Fletcher secured all 3 points for the hosts deep into added time. The teams ended the game with 10 players each after Elvis Wilson and Kevon Atkinson were both showed red cards. Waterhouse remained 8th on the table, while Vere sit at the foot of the standings. In the day's early games, Tivoli outscored Dumby-Holden 4-2, and Portmore United beat Harborview 2-0 or 2-0. 2 more games are on the schedule for Thursday. Chapelton Maroons square off with Humberline in a Clarendon derby at the Tony Spalding Sports Complex, while Montego Bay United host Malines United at Catherine Hall. Luis Buffon, son of Italian World Cup winner Gianluigi, says his international future is with the Czech Republic rather than his father's country. The 17-year-old Pisa winger has been called up by the Czech under-18 team for games against England, France, and Portugal. Buffon qualifies for the Czech national team through his mother. And the teenager, who made his professional debut for Pisa in the Italian second division earlier this month, says he will stay loyal to his mother's birth country. Jamaica Scorpions are currently in 5th place after 5 rounds in the West Indies 4-day cricket championship. After 3 defeats in a row, the Scorpions finally entered the winners' column with a victory over West Indies Academy in the last round of games. Champions Guyana Harpy Eagles still lead the standings after extending their unbeaten run with a 10-wicket triumph over the Volcanoes in the last round. Closely behind in second are the also unbeaten Trinidad and Tobago Red Force. The Red Force cut into the Harpy Eagles' lead after demolishing Barbados Pride by an innings and 56 runs inside 2 days. In third position are Leeward Islands Hurricanes, who leapfrogged the Pride by crushing combined campuses and colleges by 373 runs to claim their 3rd win of the competition. Despite their demoralizing loss to the Red Force, the Pride still remain in the hunt for a playoff position and are 4th in the standings. Both the CCC and the WI Academy are yet to win a game and sit in 7th and 8th respectively. The competition is now on a 2-week break and will resume with a 6th round of matches starting April 2. And that's it for your morning sports.
Don't fall victim to deepfakes.
Watch out.
Protect yourself.
How are this
For
on
more
my TV?
information, visit broadcastingcommission.org or
Here ya,
scan
baby.
the QR code on screen.
Deepfake. No deepfake can't catch me.
Junior, you know say AI can make something will look and sound just like you? One day Junior get a voice note from her granny. Say the food done, the medication done, and she need money urgently.
Need money urgently. But Miss Pat no like ask people for things.
And as so comes Judy get suspicious.
So what she do?
She asks the neighbor to go check pan her. Junior, the lady quite alright over there make her Sunday dinner.
So the voice note a deep fake.
Yes, my love. Come, your food ready.
Right now it look like we have to outsmart the AI. But wait, I really want dege dumpling here, give me.
Me I wonder if AI can make one deep fake dumpling for you.
To learn more about deepfakes, visit www.broadcastingcommission.org.
In business this morning, the U.S. Central Bank has cut its growth forecast as it warned President Donald Trump's tariffs were clearly driving up prices. The BBC is reporting that the Federal Reserve released its projections for the world's largest economy on Wednesday, while keeping interest rates unchanged again, saying it wanted to see how the White House policies unfold. That decision, which was widely expected, kept the Federal Reserve's benchmark interest rate hovering around 4.3%, where it has stood since December. After the announcement, Trump, who has previously criticized the central bank, called on it to cut rates. The U.S. president said on his platform Truth Social that the Fed would be much better off cutting rates as U.S. tariffs start to transition their way into the economy. He urged it to do the right thing, noting that April 2 would be Liberation Day in America. Back locally, gas prices are going up this morning. Motorists will pay $2.54 more for a litre of 87-octane gasoline and 90-octane. The price of automotive diesel oil will go down by $3.06. Ultra-low sulfur diesel will go down by $3.06 as well. Propane cooking gas will also go up, moving by only 1 cent. Meanwhile, kerosene goes down by $2.59 and butane will be sold for 25 cents more. And finally, in foreign exchange trading this morning, the Jamaican dollar has lost 14 cents and will open trading today, selling for an average $157.66 against the benchmark US dollar. The Jamaican dollar has lost 15 cents and will open trading today, selling for an average $110.17 against the Canadian. And finally, the Jamaican has gained 67 cents and will open trading this morning, selling for an average $204.89 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
Clear your barrels and personal shipments with ease and convenience. Request a customs contactless clearance today through CCP at jca.gov.jm. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
6:29.
Yo, my boss. Yo, my general. Yo, my king. The new BK Mega Stacker. Come for run everything. Choose your style. Double, triple, or quad stack. Juicy grilled beef. Plus crispy bacon, some stackerific sauce, and layers of melted cheese. So if you think you can angle it, stackify yourself today. Order the BK Mega Stacker and have it your way. The new BK Mega Stacker. Built for satisfaction. Limited time. Only at Burger King. Experience the joy of buying a brand new Hyundai without breaking the bank. Yes, buying a brand new car should never leave you broke. From stylish designs and safety features to comfortable driving and reliability, Hyundai is the choice. Hyundai vehicles come standard with 2 years free service and 5 years warranty and roadside assistance for your peace of mind. Drive 2 years without service cost and 5 years without fear of being stranded. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
For generations, Jamaican families have trusted Imperial Optical to keep their vision clear and their style sharp. From their first eye exam to the latest in fashion frames, we've been there for every milestone, every moment, and every memory. Whether it's your child's first day at school or your grandparents' golden years, our care spans every age, every stage. Visit Imperial Optical today. Generations of care, generations of trust.
Get ready for Talk the Things! A night of captivating poetry and storytelling at Jamnesia Surf Club, Bull Bay, St. Thomas on Saturday, March 22 at 6 p.m. featuring incredible performances by award-winning talents like Joel Jawara Ellis, Kwame McPherson, Britton Wright, Casey Garvey, and many more. Tickets are only $1,000. Get yours now at buzzworld.com or contact 876-542-5943. Don't miss this unforgettable night of talent, creativity, and culture. Produced by Jaiko Professional Poets. Sponsored by Nationwide 90 FM.
You will make a way. You have always made a way, God. Oh God, oh God. Some days high and some days low, but I will not give up. No, I won't let go. I know God will make a way for me. Yeah. Oh, I see troubles on the left, troubles on the right. Trusting in you, oh God, I know I'll be alright. I know God will make a way for me. You're the God of the valley, the mountains and the sea. So I will not worry. You will make a way for me. Powerful and mighty, you provide all of my needs. Through the storms I will believe that you will make a way for me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So even if my eyes can't see, deep down I do believe. If you can part the sea for Moses, you can open doors for me. I know, oh yeah, you will make a way for me. Father, you have never once failed me, kept my family. Jesus, fight for me. You are Jehovah Nissi. You will never Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Tear down the walls of Jericho. So I know you will take good care of me. God of the valley, the mountains and the sea. So I will not worry. You will make a way for me. Powerful and mighty, you provide all of my needs. Through the storms I will believe that you will make a way for me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anything these answers will prosper. Anywhere you plan me, Lord, that's where I will go. Say you are mighty in power over this world, Lord. You are in control. You are the valley, the mountains and the sea. So I will not worry. I know you will make a way for me.
Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. You're tuned in to Nationwide this morning. NTM, welcome to the space. Nationwide 90 FM Live 2 is our YouTube channel. Hello to all of you joining us in the chat this morning. And good morning as well to our peeps out there in Radioland. It is Thursday, March 20, 2025. It's the first day of spring. So it's time for renewal, starting spring. Time to rejuvenate. Yeah. What fall off? It's today. Yeah. Now it's the 20th. So, yeah. Anything will fall off in the previous season, you can pick up back on in this new season. Yeah, you get it? All right, cool. But hope you guys are having a good morning. Yeah, joining you in good spirits with the music that our musical maestro carried us into the start of NTM with. Hello to you, Dre Views, Earl, J Ham, Albert Morgan, Cheryl Griffiths, Mystical Vibrations, Shanaki Alexander, Linton Archer, Herman, good morning to you as well. Yeah, the first day of spring. Carmen James, all of you joining us in the chat, always interacting with us in the YouTube chat. Good morning to you. Hey,
well, a pleasant morning to all. It's a good day to be alive. It's a good day to be here. And of course, we are just happy. We're just happy that you're listening right here on Nationwide this morning. Of course, there is a lot going on around the world. There's a lot going on even here because today is speech 4, the penultimate speech of our budget debate. You know, honestly, Tana, as a debater, I will tell you that most debaters cringe at our budget debates because there's no real, I would say, back and forth. There's no real, engaging with the ideas. There's no real questions. There are no points of information. Somebody gets up, reads a speech, and we hear the speech, and based on that speech, we should be informed that this is what they can do or are going to do, etc. And it really it gives for a debater it gives a ick because we understand what engagement is. As much as for those who would have practiced British parliamentary style, what would have happened is that while debating, if you're a good debater, you are mandated to answer 2 to 3 points of information. So if you are speaking and your point might not have been as coherent, or the opponent has some other fact that they can bring up to just destroy your point, you have to take it. If you're a good debater, because you should be able to foresee all of that, plan for all of that in your head, and then come for it. What am I talking about when I say in your head? When you have a British parliamentary style debate, like an open debate, for those who have done it at university, I started in my last year of high school actually, and some of my friends started long before, they've been doing this all their lives, but I started in my last year of high school, and you just had 15 minutes to prepare. No internet. You just had 15 minutes to prepare, to think of how do you solve this problem or how do you engage with it. It's a very good part of mental development because you really have to think. You can't take your phone out and go chat GPT it like what people are doing now, like what a lot of students are doing now. You can't just get up and figure it out or Google it. You have to think about it, and based on your own knowledge background, you can articulate particular things, and that helps as well when you realize that, hey, maybe I'm not wide enough read. Maybe I need to read more. Maybe I need to understand what's happening in the news, and it does show you your gaps and how you fill those. So I, for one, take issue with how our budget debate, as it is, or as it were, is structured. I think it's more of just, budget speeches on both sides of the aisle. Woo! Call it what it is. But that's not what I'm here to talk about this morning. What I'm here to talk about this morning is, again, and I think I will continue to belabor the point, the task force speed, streamlining processes for efficiency and economic development. I am the belaborer of this point, speed, because on January 21st, 2025, the Prime Minister of Jamaica did a speech where he spoke about this task force, and he said the task force will identify bottlenecks, recommend actionable solutions, and deliver tangible outcomes within specified timelines. That's almost project management language. It will focus on making government processes more efficient for large investors, MSMEs, and citizens interacting with public agencies. Digital transformation in e-government is another factor of it. Implementation of end-to-end digital systems for business registration, tax filing, and permit approvals. Now, tax filing is done online, so I guess we are quite away with the wicket, even though that website does need some updating. Rollout of e-government platforms accessible anytime, anywhere, and on any device to eliminate long lines and excessive paperwork. Now, some of these things are on the way, Tana. Some agencies are way ahead of the game. There are some agencies that you don't have to literally interact with. I think TAJ is one of them that have made significant progress as it relates to their online platform. As I said, I did my vehicle registration and I just walked in, picked up the paper, even though I think the paper should have been delivered to me, but you can pay for that service. But I went by because I wanted to see if I still had to wait in a line. I went by and I picked it up. Now, in January, I was a little bit hesitant about this task force. I was a little bit critical as well because I was saying, hey, Prime Minister, you name the task force, you tell us what it's going to do. But again, if you're going to name a task force speed, I expect a timeline for when the task force will actually force the task. And then I dare say the opposition leader and the Prime Minister of Jamaica have found a great area to now align. Both leaders of both political parties on both sides have aligned that there needs to be a cut of some of the bureaucratic red tape. There needs to be faster time for delivery of solutions to the people of Jamaica, the stakeholders in this whole concept of Jamaica, the country, the nation. There needs to be faster delivery. The opposition leader in his budget presentation says he's going to lead a campaign and he's going to look at every policy. If he were to become Prime Minister, lead a campaign, look at every policy and ensure there's efficiency in government. And this speech came in March, but the Prime Minister said this in January. So I'm guessing they're aligned. But the point I'm getting at really is that I was critical of the Prime Minister. Critical still if we don't know when speed will, speed things up. But I do give my applause to the leadership of the Prime Minister in this one thing. When I saw that Senator, Ambassador Audrey Marks was named a minister with responsibility for efficiency, innovation, and digital transformation, I thought, oh, so it's not just a task force. There'll be somebody who is in charge and accountable for ensuring that these things actually do happen. So I believe that so far, it's a step in the right direction. So with my critical mind, I will say this, at least across the aisle, we agreed that there needs to be speed. But this next step by the Prime Minister indicates a serious move, at least by the government of the day, that there needs to be some streamlining of efficiency. And that way, I do hope that even though we are in an election year and everybody is focused on ensuring they win here and win there, that this part of the governance structure has its direct focus. And I know for one, people have been saying that Ambassador Marks works really hard. I know for one, I'd love to see what fruits will bear, especially in the next 5 years leading up to Vision 2030, where we will be able to see our country developing at a pace that we've never seen before. I'm excited about that. I'd be happy for that. And if the case is what it is, whomever is in government seems like they're agreeing to speed. So I'm happy that there will be speed, Tana. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I support anything that can be done within government strictures to make it easier for work to be done. Yeah, a lot of capital projects, the politicians will tell you all the time, get pushed back because of things within government bureaucracy that just holds up the process. So if there is anything that can be done and done quickly to ensure that our procurement processes are even more efficient long term, yeah, I support that. So I'm just waiting to see speed and whatever else can be done within the amendments that have been made, rather the passing of this new procurement law. Whatever within those strictures that can be made to make procurement processes easier, because at the end of the day, it is Jamaicans who want to see projects get underway that will benefit them and their communities, whether it be roads, bridges, water, whatever can be done to make those projects get off the way more quickly with speed is welcomed.
Yeah, so I'd say, PM, good move in appointing Ambassador Senator Audrey Marks as the minister in charge. And Ambassador Senator Audrey Marks, your work is indeed cut out for you.
The Ministry of Justice offers free counseling to victims of crime. Call 876-946-0663. The time by the Ministry of Justice is
6:48.
Get extra on your hand with a partner plan from JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union. Conditions apply. The temperature compliments of JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, your financial partner for life, is
24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, and down in cool Mandeville, it's just 15 degrees Celsius.
Are you ready to debate, dominate, and drive change? The public sector debate competition is back, bigger, bolder, and better than ever. Public sector employees, this is your chance to showcase your skills, sharpen your arguments, and tackle the nation's biggest issues head on. Don't wait. Registration closes March 28, 2025. Sign up now at publicsectortransformation.gov.jm. Brought to you by the Transformation Implementation Unit, building a better public sector for all.
My Mega
With so much to do in one location, make Megamart your one-stop shop. Pick up your groceries and houseware needs, grab a bite and pay some bills, fill your prescriptions and see the beauty products in our pharmacy. All in one amazing location. My Megamart, the best value by far.
I pursue opportunities.
I prepare for opportunities.
I plan for opportunities.
With Sagicor e-Invest, you can prepare, plan for, and pursue IPO opportunities. Browse IPOs, review IPO details and prospectuses. Select and apply for a featured IPO.
I-P-O.
With Sagicor e-Invest. Think wealth. Visit sagicor.com.
In this uncertain U.S. immigration climate, you need expert guidance you can trust. The Consular Queen LLC handles visas, waivers, petitions, and more, making immigration stress-free. Don't navigate the process alone. Get professional support today. Call 470-593-8448 now. That's 470-593-8448. The Consular Queen. Unite families, change lives. 470-593-8448. Secure your future today.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
When you hear those horns, you know what time it is. It is time for Street Smart. Of course, we have Ludlow McLean on the line. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning, Sanjay. How you doing, man?
I'm good. You?
Good. Is that Tonna?
Yes.
Hey to you, Ludlow.
All right. Cool. What's happening on the road? It's getting busy, but for the time being, you can make your way in different places. Right now, if you're on the eastern side, it's much better going on in that section there. Those of you heading up to Mountain View on the northbound side, it's pretty good movement. Going across to places like Deanery, it is okay, no problem. Deanery Road, then going to Upper Ellison Road, going around to Miriam Road, that's in the Vineyard Town area, exiting onto Camp and South Camp Road, respectively. and going southbound along Camp Road, they find the movement pretty steady all the way down. If you're heading out to Windward Road towards East Queen Street via Victoria Avenue, movement is also pretty good as they make your way. So that side is not too bad. The side that you're going to have the challenge with is west coming east as usual. Places like the Mandela Highway heading towards 6 miles and from 6 miles to 3 miles. So that is where the bulk of the traffic is. And likewise on the Washington Boulevard. But there are areas that you can make it through. A Waterhouse is always a nice area. You can make it through Henley Road, Penwood Road, then you go across the Bay Farm Road, then you go on to Waltham, which is not too bad at this particular point in time. So there you go. Our first support for the morning until 7:18. It's back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Ludlow. It's now time for a word of the day.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
A word of the day, quite fitting, spelled Primaveral, spelled Primaveral.
Primaveral. Primaveral. Primaveral.
Primaveral is your word of the day. It's an adjective, primaveral, meaning pertaining to the early springtime. First recorded between 1815 and 1825, primaveral. To use it in a sentence, the forest path was lined with primaveral wildflowers pushing through the last patches of snow. Another for you, the primaveral breeze carried the scent of fresh blossoms through the open window. Primaveral is your word of the day, meaning again pertaining to the early springtime. Up next are features at the top of the hour of the news.
Older people are especially vulnerable to loneliness and social isolation, and it can have a serious effect on health. But there are ways to overcome loneliness, even if you live alone and find it hard to get out. In this COVID-19 environment and the current risk management orders requiring that persons over 75 years stay home, hundreds of thousands of elderly people are lonely and cut off from society. In Coming of Age Today, loneliness and isolation in the elderly. According to the 2011 census conducted by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, there were almost 218,000 persons over the age of 65 years living in the country, many of whom are living alone. People can become socially isolated for a variety of reasons. This includes getting older or weaker, no longer being the hub of their family, leaving the workplace, the death of spouses and friends, or through disability or illness. Whatever the cause, it's shockingly easy to be left feeling alone and vulnerable. This can lead to depression and a serious decline in physical health and well-being. Someone who's lonely probably also finds it hard to reach out. There's a stigma surrounding loneliness, and older people tend not to ask for help because they have too much pride. It's important to remember loneliness can and does affect anyone of any age. Here are ways for older people to connect with others and feel useful and appreciated again. Take time to listen to your loved one. Simply having you there to listen can help your loved one feel less alone. Actively engage your loved one in conversation, asking questions and encouraging them to express themselves. It may not come easily at first, but your willingness to learn will go a long way. Develop a plan. In addition to listening, take the time to learn about your loved one's interests and develop a plan to incorporate them into everyday life. Simply taking an hour out of your day to share an activity with your loved one can make a significant impact. Bridge the gap. For aging parents and others struggling with loneliness, finding someone to connect with may not be as difficult as imagined. Help them connect with younger relatives or become a member of a church organization even. In this COVID-19 environment, the use of technology may be a better option to connecting with others. Teach someone something. Give your loved ones the opportunity to teach you something instead. Take what you've learned by listening to your loved one and ask them to teach you something. Even if all they are able to offer is wisdom and helpful advice, it will help bring meaning to their life. Take a class or seminar. Encourage your loved ones to take up a class or seminar. Although time may be virtual, they will meet new people at these events. There are many organizations offering free online courses. Research shows that participating in meaningful activities can lower the risk of dementia and physical health problems in seniors. That's it for Coming of Age today.
Fearless and fair, Nationwide 90 FM.
Attending staff meetings can be the most intimidating part of starting a new job. What do I say and what do I not say? When do I arrive? I'm Tana, and your Lifestyle Pages starts now. The environment of a meeting requires some careful navigation to maintain your professional image, whether the meetings are one-on-one, with several colleagues, or with external clients. For a meeting in someone's office, don't arrive more than 5 minutes early, as they may be prepping for your meeting, another meeting later that day, or trying to get other work done. You may make them uncomfortable, and that is not a good way to begin your meeting. Don't arrive late, ever. If you're going to be late, try to let someone know so that people are not sitting around waiting for you. Don't forget that being on time for a meeting means arriving 5 minutes early, and for an interview, arrive 10 minutes early. When a meeting runs late and you need to be somewhere else, always be prepared to explain where you need to be, understanding that the value of where you need to be will likely be judged. Do not interrupt people. This is a bad habit to start and a tough one to end. There's a time and place for confrontation, and a meeting is almost never the place. You will embarrass and anger other people, and you will look bad for doing it. Give people time and space outside of meetings to reflect on issues that need to be dealt with. So watch the clock and don't be late. That was your Lifestyle Pages. I'm Tana.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Jamaica, let's make road safety a priority. Slow down, stay focused. Remember, every life matters. The time brought to you by the JIS is...
News time, 7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore, Kingston Normal Bay. The temperature by National Supply is...
24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. Wait for it, 15 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 this morning, Thursday, March 20, 2025, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is set to make his contribution to the budget debate later on Thursday. Realtors Association says the housing initiatives proposed by the opposition leader are well-intentioned. Suspects in the attempted robbery of a supermarket in Montego Bay shot and killed by the police. And in international news, Trump to sign executive order to shut down the U.S. Education Department.
News at 7 is brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is set to make his contribution to the budget debate in the House of Representatives later on Thursday. It will be the fourth and penultimate speech in the debate, which climaxes next Tuesday with the second presentation by the Finance Minister, Favour Williams. The Prime Minister is expected to outline how his government will pivot from macroeconomic stability to meaningful growth. He's also expected to tell the country why voters should give his party a historic consecutive term in office Office based on its accomplishments since 2016. Dr. Holness is also expected to show how his administration intends to support the security forces in their work to further reduce the incidence of major crimes such as murder and shootings. The Prime Minister's presentation is set to begin at about 2 p.m. and will be carried live on Nationwide 90 FM. Government Senator Marlon Morgan is questioning the funding plans behind several proposals laid out by the opposition leader Mark Golding in his budget presentation on Tuesday. Senator Morgan was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Wednesday.
The PNP is giving up a lot of revenue based on their proposals, but at the same time suggesting that they're going to be doing so much more. The question this evening is how come? How can you be proposing to do so much more with such fewer resources? It doesn't compute, it is not credible, and it is not rocket science, gentlemen, as to why they have not properly costed this thing and presented it in clear and no uncertain terms to the people of Jamaica, the very people who they will be calling on in a few weeks or months from now to vote for them to form government.
Among the plans presented by Mark Golding is a major push to help provide affordable housing through a $1 billion loan facility for first-time buyers under the age of 35. Golding says the next PNP government will also provide financial support to local food producers through the establishment of an agricultural development fund. Senator Morgan says the opposition leader's plans lack credibility.
To the extent that the PNP, having all of 4.5 years under Mark Golding's incumbency as party leader, failed to do that in terms of this cycle of the budget debate. They have come with some proposals. A number of them I consider to be not well thought out. A number of them are quite frankly half-baked. And most importantly, there has been no costing to what it is that the PNP has placed on the table. And as such, the credibility of these proposals have to be in question, because it cannot be that we're in the throes of the budget debate, the last one before the country is sent to the polls in terms of general elections, and you have failed to come in a very compelling and credible way.
Marlon Morgan, Government Senator. First Vice President of the Realtors Association of Jamaica, Judy Benjamin, says the housing initiatives proposed by the opposition leader are well-intentioned. Golding outlined a raft of policies during his contribution to the budget debate on Tuesday in the House of Representatives. Ms. Benjamin says any plan to make home ownership easier in Jamaica is welcomed.
I think the ideas are good, it's a good intention, but like everything else, we have to wait to see how it will work. So we don't have a rent-own culture in Jamaica, so that will take us a little while to get going. The other thing that you didn't mention, but it jumped out at me, is that he mentioned using the HAJ as our lead developer of low income. I would love us to do a study on the effectiveness of what they have done in the past compared to other low-income developers. You know what I mean? So I think it needs some tweaking. There are questions, but we appreciate the effort in order to make home ownership more viable for more people in the country.
Judy Benjamin, First Vice President of the Realtors Association of Jamaica. Golding has pledged to put an end to the annual transfer of $11.4 billion from the National Housing Trust to the Consolidated Fund. That transfer currently contributes to the government's annual budget. He also committed that a future PNP administration would cover insurance payments on NHT loans for low-income earners. The opposition leader also proposed a rent-to-own initiative through the NHT. He promised to lower NHT interest rates for public sector workers and the creation of a Young Owners Deposit Fund. Under this fund, individuals aged 35 and younger would be eligible for a $500,000 grant to assist with their housing deposit. President of the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise MSME Alliance, Antoinette Hamilton, says the proposed initiatives demonstrate that Mark Golding is listening to ordinary Jamaicans.
The opposition leader is on the ground. He's hearing from the ordinary Jamaicans, the hairdressers, the taxi operators, the nail technicians, the barbers, that look, we can't afford these houses. We are getting $7.5 million from the NHT. There's no house on the market for that right now. And most of those houses will separate families. And so when I heard about assisting with deposits, assisting with, the rent to own, especially that one, that was very good. I mean, it at least gives hope to those ordinary Jamaicans who feel like owning a home is out of their reach.
Antoinette Hamilton, president of the MSME Alliance. Both ladies were guests on Nationwide at 5 on Wednesday. Two suspects in the attempted robbery of Feng Supermarket on Church Street, Montego Bay in St. James on Tuesday were shot and killed in separate incidents by the police on Wednesday. One of the fatal shootings occurred minutes after 4 p.m. on Gow Peace Lane in the Salt Spring community. The second incident happened just under an hour later on Albion Lane in Montego Bay. A pistol was seized in each incident. Reports are that lawmen acting on intelligence went to the locations in a bid to apprehend at least two suspects in the attempted robbery at the supermarket on Tuesday night. The police say when lawmen approached the premises on Gow Peace Lane, they were fired on. The fire was returned. When the shooting subsided, a man was found with gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead at hospital. The police say they found a pistol at the scene, along with 2 bags of coins allegedly taken from the supermarket. They say they also found a pair of bloody shoes and bloody clothes consistent with what one of the suspects was wearing at the time of the attempted robbery. Details of the second fatal shooting are unknown at this time. Meanwhile, the 2 policemen shot during Tuesday's attempted robbery remain in hospital in stable condition. A large bushfire close to the Morant Bay Urban Centre in St. Thomas has been extinguished. The blaze, which broke out on lands adjacent to the urban centre, engulfed a wide area of land and raged for several hours on Wednesday evening. The fire was brought under control and extinguished between late Wednesday night and early this morning. Nationwide News understands the area is prone to fires during the dry season. Health specialist at UNICEF Jamaica, Novia Condell, says it's imperative that the government regulate the nutrition of children and adolescents. She made the statement at an editors' forum on healthy food policies for children and youth at the UWI regional headquarters in St. Andrew on Wednesday.
Good nutrition is prevention, and as such it is critical that government regulates the food environment to make sure that children, adolescents, have the best nutrition possible for their health and well-being. Research is also coming up now that is showing a connection between bad nutrition or malnutrition, if you want to call it, because malnutrition is not just the lack of food, it is the quality of food and mental health. So we're seeing where nutrition is impacting health in various ways, and it is deeply concerning the high rate of increase in obesity among our adolescents in Jamaica.
The UN Convention on the Rights of the Child affirms a child's right to safe and nutritious food. A position paper summary on the marketing of unhealthy foods written by the Jamaica Youth Advocacy Network, JAN, revealed that many Jamaican schools lack clear policies regulating food marketing. The report adds that food corporations are targeting children directly. Condell says there can be no compromise about the quality of food provided to children.
Food policies are essential to protecting our children. Jamaica is signatory to the Convention on the Rights of the Child, which enshrines within it the right of every single Jamaican child to the highest standard of health. Nutrition is central to the highest standard of health. If a child receives good nutrition from the very earliest stages throughout their lifetime, that child is already in prevention status that will prevent a lifetime of NCDs, non-communicable diseases, which are the #1 cause of death in Jamaica.
Novia Condell, health specialist at UNICEF, Jan has expressed frustration over the delayed implementation of a school nutrition policy in Jamaica. The advocacy group notes that the prevalence of ultra-processed foods and sugar-sweetened beverages in school environments has contributed significantly to the growing crisis. It says research has shown that marketing has a big impact on children's food preferences, and this is increasing their consumption of unhealthy foods. A probe has been launched into allegations of a breach in PEP examination procedures at a private preparatory school in Ocho St. Anne. The exam was written on Wednesday morning. Education Ministry officials confirmed to our news center that they have received reports of a breach at the unidentified school. However, they are insisting that there was no cheating and that the integrity of the performance task English language exam was secure. Reports are that at the prep school, the English language papers were taken to the examination room and were distributed by the principal and one of the teachers at the school. Under rules and protocol established by the Education Ministry, no such role should be performed by the principal and the staff at the school. There were 2 independent invigilators and a presiding examiner in the room to carry out the task. A parent who was observing the events called the ministry's regional office and reported the matter. An education officer who had been at the school earlier was instructed to return immediately. That officer reportedly spoke with the principal and had the invigilators take control of the process. Ministry officials say they were sure there had been no cheating as the exams had not yet begun. The government is creating a second compressed natural gas CNG fueling plant. This is to service 70 new CNG buses being added to the fleet of the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC. Transport Minister Daryl Vaz made the disclosure during a media briefing at the ministry's office in St. Andrew on Tuesday.
The ministry is actively taking steps to establish a compressed natural gas facility to be able to provide fuel for new buses which are expected to arrive here in June to July. So it means that currently we have a CNG plant at the Portmore depot with 125 CNG buses, which are new buses over the last 18 months. We have another 70 CNG buses arriving in June, July. This will require us to put a new CNG plant at the Spanish Town depot, and we are hoping that we'll have that up and running between August and September in time for the new school year.
Daryl Vaz, Transport Minister. The JUTC currently has over 100 CNG buses in its fleet. Minister Vaz says the latest additions will include 30 coach buses for the charter service. He says the addition of the second facility follows the recent increase in the number of CNG fueling pumps at the Portmore JUTC depot. This, he says, has enhanced the JUTC's refueling capacity by 300%. Last year, Minister Vaz indicated that the cost to fill one of the new CNG buses with fuel was a third of the amount for a diesel unit. Regional news now. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force has charged 2 men in relation to a major drug and firearm seizure. The men, Lucius Popo and Kerry Richardson, are charged with possession of controlled drugs and possession of controlled drugs with intent to supply. The police report that a car with Popo as the driver and Richardson as a passenger was searched in a joint effort by the Tactical Response Unit and the Gang, Narcotic and Firearms Unit. The team reportedly found 2 black packages containing 50 blocks of a white substance suspected to be cocaine. The estimated street value of the drugs is 1.4 million Eastern Caribbean dollars. The lawmen also found a Glock pistol and 15 rounds of ammunition. The men have been remanded in custody until April 17. Further afield, U.S. President Donald Trump is expected to sign a long-anticipated executive order on Thursday that aims to shut down the Department of Education. The impending shutdown was one of Trump's key campaign pledges. A group of Democratic state attorneys general have filed a lawsuit seeking to block Trump from dismantling the department and halt the layoffs of nearly half of its staff. Leading civil rights group the NAACP also blasted the expected order as unconstitutional. It calls the move a dark day for the millions of American children who depend on federal funding for a quality education. Trump and his billionaire advisor Elon Musk have attempted to shut down government programs and institutions such as the U.S. Agency for International Development without congressional approval. Abolishing the Department of Education would be their first bid to shut down a cabinet-level agency. That's the news.
News at 7 was brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:16.
Rent or buy your hurricane supplies from Total Tools. Visit 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, or 34 Slipe Road, Kingston 5. The temperature brought to you by Total Tools Jamaica is
25 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, and it's still, unbelievably, 15 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Singers, songwriters, producers, this is your chance to write your name into Jamaica's rich music history and also win $3 million cash in the JCDC Festival Song Competition.
This is the land of my birth.
And it's now so easy to enter because what? We gone digital. It's all online. Just log on to jcdc.gov.jm. Fill in the form online and upload your entry. Closing date has been extended to March 31. Enter now.
Anywhere I go, I am a Jamaican.
Digicel, live life your way, no free what? Digicel postpaid. With Digicel postpaid, it's all about you. Sign up or pay your bills to stay active for a chance to win a luxurious all-expense paid trip for two to Royalton, Antigua, with round-trip flights on us. Every week you could win exciting prizes: event tickets, gym memberships, spa packages, excursion adventures, restaurant vouchers, and more. When you opt in on the My Digicel app, life your way starts now with Digicel. Better connected.
Promotion ends March 31. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
The University of the Commonwealth Caribbean Roadshow, the roadmap to your future. Join us for fast and easy registration, informative sessions, one-on-one guidance, and more. Look out for us on March 11, Port Antonio, March 13, May Pen, March 14, Morant Bay, March 18, Mandeville, March 21, Ocho Rios, March 25, Montego Bay, and our last stop, March 28, Halfway Tree. UCC Roadshow, the roadmap to your future. You don't want to miss it. Visit www.ucc.edu.jm for more details.
Win with love. Use your JMMB Money Transfer Prepaid Visa Card from October 1, 2024 to June 30, 2025 for a chance to win your share of a $2.1 million grand prize, plus a $100,000 university cash grant and cash back from paying tolls and shopping with your card. Receive money 24/7 in minutes with Visa Direct via MoneyGram, Zoom, Remitly, or directly through RIA and Zoom. Visit jm.jmmb.com/money-transfer for full details on how to enter and win with love. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply. Plug into the sun with Peak Energy Solutions. We are your affordable provider for everything solar. Grid tie or off-grid solar P systems, solar air conditioners, panels, lithium batteries, solar supplies, and installation. Visit us at Shop 1, 3 Mosquito Valley Road, Red Hills, St. Andrew. Call 876-279-8820 or 944-0668. Or email us at peakenergysolutionsja@gmail.com. Peak Energy for everything solar.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Good morning to Sidney Wilson. And let me tell you this, Mandeville, I mean, if you live in Mandeville this morning and you go to work, and, well, for everybody going out of their house this morning in Mandeville, and if you're tidy and go work or tidy and go school, may understand. Morning, Ludlow. Street Smarts 2, Ludlow McLean here in warm Kingston.
Morning, George. This is Motoring Public listeners or passengers, commuters of George.
Yes, sir.
It is not 15 in Albert. I got to understand it. 12 degrees Celsius.
12?
I just got the call a while ago.
Mercy.
Listeners, they're pretty sharp, you know.
So that's why I'm tell you, Ludlow, so if the people are tidy.
From Mandeville.
Yeah.
Sean, I went calling me to call me a while ago.
And say at 12.
George, it's a correction. 12 degrees.
Well, from where we got our reading, it was 50. But if it's a 12, we'll work with that. But let me tell you this. If the people them tidy and go out this morning, people have to understand. Me not have warm water, me not be it.
It's pretty warm here. No, so warm we live in New York and Canada. Oh, adjust. Well, we have to adjust.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, the traffic here is, well, I don't know how many degrees. But it's really, really busy in certain areas. I remember motors, I have to remind you. Once you're along Mandela Highway, Spanish Town Road, 6 miles, 3 miles, all of these areas, be prepared for traffic. Lengthy delays. Waymont Drive is the same thing. Mullines Boulevard. If you're on Duhaney Drive heading to Meadowbrook Estate, heading on to Reddy's Road in the vicinity of Perkins, that's where you're going to have the traffic. Traffic along Reddy's Road, all the way down. Traffic on Mullines Road, and also coming out of Havendale onto Manningsville Road, and Manningsville Road going to connect with Constantine Road in the vicinity of Mayor Brown's Con. That's where you're going to have the traffic. It also goes all the way around to the vicinity of the Oaklands, and by extension, Constant Spring Road and the Shortwood Road. Waterloo, not too bad, but as you get onto Waterloo, you're going to have the traffic there. Shortwood Road, going onto Grandstand Road, around the Barbican Road, there is also traffic, and traffic takes you around to East Kingshouse Road. And going further around, it's there by the intersection of Westcombe Road and the Shortwood Road. Ligony area. Oh, and by the way, there is a pothole that is of some concern once you leave Wellington. If you're coming from Monroe Road onto Wellington Drive, heading towards Monroe Road, just in the vicinity of the stoplight, where the NWC have some pipes there and everything, there's a pothole there causing motorists to make that swing onto the right, and it's also causing a traffic delay. So the relevant authorities, you can sort that one out so that the motorists don't have to swing. All right? In the meantime, I urge the motorists to check on those speed, because you remember, if you're carrying more than one pass, if you see yourself, it's your weight times the velocity or the speed. And if you carry many passengers, all of them multiply, and that brake. So when you step on that brake, the speed will be accumulated, and it will pressure on your braking system. So you have to be careful when you speed. All right? It's a very technical situation, so be careful. As usual, at Street Smart, your safety is all concerned. George, it's over to you.
Thank you, Ludlow McLean there with the Street Smarts 2. Up next, front page in this warm studio.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Front page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
We're back with you. It's Nationwide this morning, and now we're switching focus to the front page, and we're looking at the expectations of the presentation today by the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. So he's set to deliver his contribution to the budget debate in the House of Representatives on Thursday, which is today. His address will mark the fourth and penultimate speech in the debate, which will conclude next Tuesday with the Finance Minister, Minister Favour Williams' second presentation. During his speech, the Prime Minister is expected to outline his government strategy for transitioning from macroeconomic stability to sustained growth.
He will also make the case for why voters should grant his party an unprecedented consecutive term in office, highlighting its achievements since 2016. Additionally, Dr. Holness is expected to detail his administration's plans to support the security forces in their efforts to further reduce major crimes, including murders and shootings. For discussion on expectations of the Prime Minister's budget presentation, we're being joined by development economist and chairman and CEO at NCS Enterprises, Dr. Kristen Stokes, and public commentator and debater, Jermaine Barrett. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you both. Good morning to your listeners and viewers.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide this morning. Looked on my Instagram not long ago. The Prime Minister's account is now showing the flyer that carries the theme of his presentation this afternoon. It says, Jamaica's Next Chapter, Accelerating Growth for Your Peace, Productivity, and Prosperity. So it has 3 P's: peace, prosperity, and productivity. Jermaine Barrett, want to turn to you first. What should the Prime Minister say this afternoon to really capture the mind's attention of the Jamaican people, resonate with them? What should he say this afternoon that does that job?
Thank you for having me. I think separate and apart from the bag of goodies that the Prime Minister will bring, and I'll talk a little bit about that a little later, I think the Prime Minister would want to frame this debate within the context of what is happening in Jamaica now. He's going to definitely hammer home the fact that we are seeing nearly unprecedented low levels of homicides and other major crimes across the island. And he's going to also contextualize that further to indicate that that is on the heels of a sustained investment in the JCF and other security forces to ensure that the security forces have the intelligence and the capacity to really do effective crime fighting. And that is to his administration's credit. He's going to talk a bit about the prosperity, the kinds of macroeconomic indicators, but also that his administration is committed to sort of share that prosperity in a more equitable fashion. He spoke about the pivot to growth, to sustainable growth in his economic statement a few months ago. And he's going to drive that home a little bit more because now he has a platform with which to engage Jamaicans at large. And then, of course, he's going to also talk about, a number of other things, but all of which are going to be geared at, again, setting a context to indicate that his administration has been doing unprecedented work in the various areas that are of significance and relevance to Jamaicans at large. Then after that, of course, I think he's going to really respond decisively to a lot of the suggestions, the claims, the context that have been provided by the opposition. So, for example, one of the things that sticks out in my mind is when the opposition says, Prime Minister, you can't really be pointing to Beryl and other weather incidences as being the cause for the sluggish, the slow economic growth. You have to take responsibility for the mismanagement of the economy, as they put it. I think in light of the fact that other Caribbean countries have been similarly impacted, yet they are growing at 4% or more. Right? So he will have to really explain to Jamaicans what is happening and why it is that the Jamaican economy is effectively falling into a technical recession, as it is called. So he'll have to talk about that, and then ultimately to tie things together, he will have to bring the really big sort of bag of goodies. Yes, I would have heard those bags of goodies, those 21 items posited by the finance minister.
The good
he will
news.
have to come with the good news. He'll have to come with his as well to put things well together. So that's the kind of structure and framework that I expect the Prime Minister to come with in his budget presentation today.
We're going to take a break, and Dr. Stokes, after the break, we bring you in speaking to that overarching message that you expect to hear from the Prime Minister this afternoon when he makes his contribution to the budget debate.
Jamaica
live good, yeah.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
7:31.
Fix up with Fleetwood products for your home improvement, personal care, and aromatherapy needs. They have your well-being in mind. Available at retailers island-wide. The temperature by Fleetwood Jamaica is
25 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, and 18 degrees Celsius down in Mandeville.
Strong financial records are the backbone of every successful business. Let Dodge & Global handle your accounting needs from bookkeeping to financial reporting so you can focus on growth. Call us at 876-929-3670 or 876-926-5210. Email us at info@dodgen.global or visit us at dodgen.global. Dodge & Global, we make numbers work for you.
I am ready. Are you ready? Let's get moving. It's all about the Jamaica Observer Spring into Fitness promotion. It is here and we are ready to challenge and reward you. All you gotta do is share a 5-minute workout video and win big. When I say big, I'm talking about a 1-year gym membership from Express Fitness Jamaica. Plus, you can win gift certificates from Body Forte Limited and the Live Store Jamaica. Remember, fill out your entry form in the Daily Observer and submit your videos to jolpromotion@gmail.com or WhatsApp 876-469-3089. Be informative, be creative, and be original. Remember to follow us on Instagram at Jamaica Observer for more details. Enter now, get fit with us. Jamaica Observer, Spring into Fitness promotion. Let's go!
Pack your bags for a dream vacation in Peru. Open a deposit account in the JN Bank Savings Streams promotion and save $15,000 or more monthly for your chance to win. Grand prize, airline tickets for 2 to Peru, a luxurious hotel stay, and unforgettable excursions. Other prizes, spot prizes, and cash to be won. Save so you can have the time of your life in the JN Bank Savings Streams promotion. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. JN Bank will help you find a way.
Attention motorists, it's time to switch to the T-Tag on Trans-Jam highways. Vehicles using the automated T-Tag lane are processed in seconds, so you can pass through the toll plazas far quicker. The T-Tag makes it quicker, more cost-efficient, and safer for our customers, so switch to the T-Tag today and experience the convenience. T-Tag packages are discounted to only $1,500, including a $500 toll credit from now until March 31st.
We're back with you on the front page, and of course we're looking at expectations of the Prime Minister's budget presentation later this afternoon. We started with Jermaine Barrett, who's on with us. He's a commentator and the ED for Jamaica Association for Debate and Empowerment, and Dr. Christian Stokes, who is a development economist. And I'm going over to Dr. Stokes to tell us what his expectations are for later's budget presentation.
Well, thank you. Again, good morning. So I do expect a mixture of little entertainment, little politics, and a fair amount of economics. You may, for example, which I put more in the entertainment side, speak about the paternity of macroeconomic stability, and that's I say it's entertainment because I think the record is clear starting from the work done under the PNP administration coming forward.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is not a difficult train to derail. I think the fact that they took it forward and deepened it, regardless of what the paternity tests show, is a credit to them. And for this year in itself, if you look at the size of the budget, it is really, in real terms, less. So it indicates stability or intention not to blow up. And we spoke about goodies in the previous segment, but it's not the budget is not being blown up to fund those goodies as far as we can tell. That's the first thing. But he will accountability, and then I believe he must pivot to the Achilles heel of this government and indeed every government since probably the early 1970s, which is growth. And, to talk about accelerating growth is a bit of a misnomer. The growth needs to get out of the blocks in the first place, and we're just not there yet. And through several attempts, creation of a ministry, different groups, the two things have not gone well for this government. Not to say that they're easy things to go well.
I want to chime in there, Dr. Stokes, and I was just trying to find some numbers as it relates to growth. Now, one of the countries in the LAC, Latin America and the Caribbean, that has really experienced exponential growth would have been Guyana, and we know why Guyana has experienced that. Other than that, the other countries range between 2 and 4%. The World Bank is anticipating, based on their World Economic Situation and Prospects Report 2025, that Jamaica will grow by 2%, right? Now, considering that, and we're talking about 2025-2026 fiscal year, considering that, what suggestions would you have for the Prime Minister, considering what you'd have said now, that a ministry was created, we haven't seen any exponential growth, but how, since as we haven't found an oil reserve in Jamaica, how do we get from point A to point B as it relates to growth?
Right. Okay, so first of all, I have to say 2% by the World Bank, if that is what they said, for Jamaica is extremely optimistic for Jamaica, for the coming year, all right? Now, here's where I depart from the public discourse normally. There's always the question is, what should the government do for the economy to grow? As if the government is going to get into some business or so on, and then the economy is going to grow. That's not how it works, and that's not how it should work. The government has a responsibility to lay the conditions under which private enterprise can grow. Through the years, the Jamaican government has taken too big a part of the economy, too big a part of economic leadership, which is part of why it's not growing. As a matter of fact, Courtney Williams, is the independent fiscal commissioner, in his press brief on Monday, made to me what was the most important point of all week, regardless of the speeches, including what I thought was a speech by Mark Golding, where he said the government, the leadership or economic growth has to come from the private sector. What the government needs to do is low taxes, low bureaucracy, cheap electricity, cheap transportation, internet connectivity, and a capable workforce. Those are the ingredients. And then we have to allow the same Jamaican who is going to Switzerland and Alaska and Sweden and Brazil and the US and becoming a millionaire without having 3 CXCs. We need that person here, and we need to create the environment where they can express their natural creativity and entrepreneurial excellence here in Jamaica. And I think that is the work that we need to do, not that the government is going to give me something and the economy is going to grow.
And Jermaine, going back to the point you raised about, you said the overarching message that you're expecting to hear from the Prime Minister, but into the details now of those different sectors within the country that the Prime Minister, expect the Prime Minister to tap into and provide details on how he will make those sectors better or the lives of Jamaicans better.
I think the Prime Minister has seized of the role of government as an enabler of growth within the economy. That it's not, as Dr. Stokes just opined, to own businesses and to actively be engaged in economic activities in that kind of way. It is really to establish an enabling environment such that growth can take place. And I think he's going to point to the things that the government is doing. So, for example, the REACH program and the SPARK program, which is really establishing a decent enough road network such that commerce can really take place more efficiently. It's about his ideas surrounding building economic centers across the island so that not everything is housed in Kingston and St. Andrew and, the bottleneck and the traffic that exists here while other parts of the island remain abandoned. He's going to talk about that. He's going to talk about, the other kinds of experiences that the government is bringing to Jamaicans. So, for example, the parks and all of those kinds of things. It's a long list, Turner, but again, he's going to be driving those home in as Dr. Stokes says, as entertaining and a really a sort of guttural kind of way, trying to resonate with Jamaicans. And I think, he's also going to be pushing back against some of the narrative of the People's National Party in what I contend are really, really great budget presentations by the opposition spokesperson and the opposition leader. You're going to see him really framing some of those as being not properly thought out. I think the criticism that faces the opposition now is that, well, we don't know what the costs are, we don't know what the timelines are. He's going to double down on that, and then of course the others he's going to frame them as already existing in some form or fashion, and some of them are quite frankly ill-advised. What we're faced with now is a tale of two worlds. If the opposition is trying to frame its package of initiatives that will, in their world, accelerate growth, the government has theirs, and it's going to be the Prime Minister's real attempt in the budget presentation now to showcase to Jamaica that the suite of initiatives and ideas and policies of the government are better suited to enable growth more than that of the People's National Party.
Dr. Stokes, the Prime Minister is coming to present today after a presentation by the opposition spokesman on finance and a presentation by the opposition leader Mark Golding, where he had a laundry list of initiatives that he would implement if his party should form the next government. Do you think that the Prime Minister, and it's an election year as well, do you think that the Prime Minister faces any hurdles that he must overcome, cross over in his budget presentation today?
So there's one thing he must be passionate about, and one thing that's just par for the course that I don't know how much energy you put into it. The thing that is sort of par for the course has to do with the prerogative of an opposition party in a budget presentation to speak, to violate the first lesson in the first economics class anybody ever takes, which is choices among scarce resources. The government is constrained by that. Whatever they say has to fit in that 1.26 trillion. Mm-hmm. The PNP, the opposition, has no such constraint. You should do this, you should do that, you should do this, you should do that. We will do this, we will do that, we will do this. We will not pay the 11.4 billion, we will not sell this. But without answering the question, what is the cost of these programs? And if you don't take these things, how are you going to fill that gap? Mm-hmm. And it's the prerogative of if your hands are not on the steering wheel, you can have everything, you can say all kinds of things. All right? But it resonates because it is true. And here, in terms of addressing, and this is one of the things that Mr. Golding did very well, identifying and addressing the pain points of the ordinary Jamaican. And this is something that Mr. Dr. Holness will have to deal with. Statistics can name is a very, very powerful thing. The fact that you are saying, oh, well, net international reserves is this, and I can't find bus fare for my children. And I really think that he needs to spend some time on this. And I'm hoping that he does, because, ladies and gentlemen, there was no way forward to getting where we are without making those hard decisions and somebody paying a price. Then he needs to go on stage. I'm not criticizing them for getting us down over 100 to 69, heading to 60, to put us in a position to have more, as they call, quote-unquote, fiscal space. But he must then, and generations will be grateful for that from both the PNP and JLP, but he must then pivot to a credible set of initiatives to lay the groundwork for productivity, increasing the complexity of our economy, and growth. And as part of that, I believe that as the leader of the government, he has a responsibility to address the new economic environment that we have now in terms of the reshifting and the reshaping of trade relationships globally. I don't think he can just ignore that as the Prime Minister of the country. So I do expect him to touch on all those things.
Jermaine, a final one to you. The opposition leader used his budget presentation prime time to call on the Prime Minister again to say what his position is on the matter of the CCJ being Jamaica's final appellate court. Should he address that issue this afternoon when he rises in Parliament to make his presentation?
He absolutely must. He absolutely must. His back is against the wall. The constitutional reform agenda of the government is in shambles, and the opposition has been quite strategic in, I would say at times, overplaying their hand and essentially frustrating the process. I think that the Prime Minister, having promised to the country through his minister that he will speak on the matter, now is as good a time as any for him to come clearly to the Jamaican people to express to them what his intentions are with respect to the CCJ. And of course, he also has to understand that he has to articulate an idea, a vision for Jamaica's apex court. Whether it is that we stay with the Privy Council, we go to the CCJ, we establish our own domestic final appellate court, whatever the case may be, he has to be very, very clear about that, bearing in mind that the opposition is there. Should his position deviate too significantly from theirs, that they are going to be minded to frustrate the process even further. I don't see much happening for constitutional reform heading into the general election, but I think it's going to be a strong campaign agenda item for the PNP, and that is going to be dependent. The strength of their campaign is going to be dependent on the Prime Minister's statement on this matter this evening.
Jermaine Barrett, public commentator and debater, and Dr. Kristen Stokes, development economist and chairman and CEO at NCS Enterprises, with a preview of what the expectations are for the Prime Minister's budget presentation just after 2 this afternoon in the House of Representatives. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All the best.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back from the break, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Kamina Johnson-Smith, should be on the line to give us an update in relation to the U.S. policy on the Cuban medical mission.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
7:49.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is
25 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, and 18 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Yo, my boss. Yo, my general. Yo, my king. Yeah. The new BK Mega Stacker. Come for run everything. Choose your style. Double, triple, or quad stack. Juicy grilled beef. Plus crispy bacon, some stackerific sauce, and layers of melted cheese. So if you think you can angle it, stackify yourself today. Order the BK Mega Stacker and have it your way. The new BK Mega Stacker. Built for satisfaction. Limited time. Only at Burger King.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
When you see opportunity, make sure you take it. So when I got a piece of land to grow things, I jumped at it. With my Jane Bank small business loan, I grew the opportunity and reaped a whole new life for my family. Now my goods supply plenty market across the parish.
Jane Bank helps you grow your business with a Jane Bank small business loan that is perfect for you. Borrow from $10,000 up to $1.5 million to help cover expenses. Visit janebank.com to get started today. Jane Bank, we'll help you find a way.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. So the United States has announced an expansion of its Cuba-related visa restrictions policy, a move that has sent shockwaves through the Caribbean community, CARICOM. The policy specifically targets individuals linked to Cuba's labor export program, particularly its overseas medical missions. It applies to current or former Cuban government officials, foreign government officials, and their immediate family members. Some CARICOM member states have criticized the policy as an overreach that could strain diplomatic relations and hinder medical cooperation in the Caribbean. Others are seeking clarification on how it will affect ongoing partnerships with Cuba. One of the countries seeking those clarifications is Jamaica. The Foreign Affairs Minister, Senator Camilla Johnson-Smith, did say recently that Jamaica would be seeking more clarity in relation to this policy restriction. The Foreign Affairs Minister is due to join us, Camilla Johnson-Smith, shortly on the line to provide us with an update on if she sought that clarity, what information has been provided to her about the mission. Of course, the matter has been making the rounds on social media, as well as several reports that we have carried right here on Nationwide from several of the regional leaders who have come out to say, yeah, they're willing to give up their U.S. visas if it is that the U.S. goes ahead with this policy visa restriction. The Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley, she said the very same thing, I believe it was last week. And of course, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Ralph Gonsalves, who was in Jamaica and spoke at a PNP forum in Portland, he also said he's willing to give up his U.S. visa. A lot of the CARICOM leaders, the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, as well, Gaston Brown, the Prime Minister, well now, former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, they were all, riding on the same wavelength in relation to the matter. We did bring to you, was it yesterday or the day before, a report that was voiced by Siobhan, giving you some context as to what informed the policy. Oh, what did I say? Oh, Keith Rowley. Sorry about that. Former Prime Minister of TNT, Dr. Keith Rowley. Right. We did bring to you a report to give you some more context as to what has informed this policy by the United States. In the report, I believe it was by the Human Rights Foundation, HRF, it was saying that those missions, the medical practitioners that go to different countries in the region, that a large portion of their salary goes back to the country. I think they only get to keep about 9% or so of the salary that they get from the country in which they're working. There are some restrictions in relation to their passport and the geographical area that they have to stay in when they're in the country that they've been sent to. So we have about 400 of those medical practitioners here, doctors, nurses, and other personnel within the medical field. Of course, you've heard from our health minister who has come out to say there is no sort of abuse here. They're paid the same salary that local medical practitioners are paid as well. But it is the report that seemed to have informed this policy that the U.S. is placing in front of us now. And we want to hear from our Foreign Affairs Minister. She said they would have meetings with the other leaders around the region to hear, what their views are and how they will go forward. And for her to tell us as well, what is the foreign policy position of Jamaica on this matter. I mean, Marlon Morgan, government senator, had said Jamaica would come down on a side in the best interest of Jamaica, one that doesn't hurt Cuba or the United States, their relations with Cuba or the United States. But what's the word this morning on a matter that has been in the news for about, 4 weeks or so?
Yeah, that one's a rough one. I think when you look at the geopolitics now, especially with a Trump White House and the decisions being made, they're very forthright as it relates to their decision making about which countries they prefer, which countries they don't prefer as it relates to their own diplomatic relations. And that's one of the reasons why this decision was made. Some Caribbean countries don't have the burden that others do have. So while we hear the calls around the region and the statements from leaders around the region, Tana, I think Jamaica has one of the greatest burdens to bear in this particular situation, noting, size of our population, 3 million persons, and then looking at the amount of practitioners that we have. You said roughly 400 practitioners, and that's spread across the length and breadth of our health infrastructure. That presents a significant challenge, because for some of these medical practitioners, it's very specialized areas that they deal with. I heard some talk about ophthalmology, etc. So those specific areas and those specialties are very important when it comes on to the health infrastructure of Jamaica and what we're looking to achieve. So I'm guided, but wondering how best Jamaica can find a middle ground in a situation like this, where the U.S. is being very forthright, I would say, in their diplomatic policy position. And Jamaica, we look for the best interests of our people, and our foreign policy must reflect that. But then, if we are then to choose, it would be a difficult, very difficult decision, because health is on one side of that foreign policy, and the other side is the relations with the United States of America. And that in and of itself is something that, of course, we'd be very cautious about.
Yeah, it's a sensitive one. And governments like Jamaica have to dance through those raindrops. I was able to pull back up that HRF report I was referring to. If you missed it, the report that informed the policy by the U.S. now, it says the report cites Cuba's Ministry of Foreign Trade and Investments disciplinary regulations for Cuban civilian workers serving abroad as collaborators, Resolution 168. This imposes strict limitations on medical professionals. These include prohibitions on forming relationships with individuals critical of the Cuban government, living with unauthorized persons, and traveling outside assigned work areas without permission. The report also details how Cuban authorities enforce compliance through constant surveillance and requires doctors to inform on colleagues suspected of attempting to desert the missions. To further limit their mobility, doctors are issued special passports restricting travel to Cuba and the host country. And in many cases, supervisors confiscate their passports upon arrival. So, for example, you get to your host country like Jamaica, your passport is taken. Not sure if that's the situation here, but that's what informed the report. The HR says Cuba's state-run healthcare system pressures medical workers to participate in these missions, with many fearing career stagnation or job loss if they refuse. Additionally, it says doctors require special permission to leave the country and often do not receive academic credentials that would allow them to work independently abroad. The report says this leaves them with no alternative but to work under the government's overseas medical program. To the part now in relation to salary. The HRF report states that the Cuban government retains at least 75% of the wages paid to the doctors, leaving them with as little as 9 to 25% of the earnings.
Okay, we have Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith. Good morning, Minister.
Morning to you both. Morning to your listeners. How are you?
Doing well.
We're doing good.
Minister, would you mind if we take the break, go to across Jamaica, and then we come back and have you on for about 10-15 minutes?
Not at all.
All right, let's do that.
All right.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Success, powered by learning. The Temperature, brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us is
25 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 in Montego Bay, and it's 18 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
In across Jamaica this Thursday morning, Caribbean Cement Company Limited has committed an initial $4.5 million to conserve and restore mangroves at Gallows Point, located within the Palisades Port Royal Protected Area. The company signed a memorandum of agreement with National Environment and Planning Agency NEPA under the agency's Adopt a Mangrove program on Tuesday. Under the initiative, the cement company says it will launch innovative technology in the form of floating concrete in the protected area. Managing Director Jorge Martinez says these structures will serve as seed carriers and will help protect the mangroves as they mature. He says the unique design of the floating concrete, which has holes to allow the mangrove roots to break through, will effectively dissipate water force during storm surges, thereby countering coastal erosion. The solution also tackles the issue of plastic intrusion, which has been one of the significant threats to the longevity of mangrove ecosystems. The technology was developed by Caribbean Cement's shareholder CEMEX. The Palisades Port Royal Protected Area spans an area of more than 7,000 hectares. It was declared protected in 1998. The area has also been designated a wetland of international importance under the Ramsar Convention. Finally, in across Jamaica, a Kingston man has been slapped with several charges following the murder of a man on Hillcrest Avenue in December. He has been identified as 39-year-old Terrion Gordon, otherwise called Quincy, a mechanic of Harbour Road, Rockfort. Dead is 31-year-old Lester Moore, otherwise called Chucky, a furniture maker of Glasswell Avenue, Rockfort. Gordon has been charged with murder, possession of prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, using a firearm to commit a felony, and conspiracy to commit murder. Reports are that about 12:30 p.m., Moore was walking along the roadway when he was approached by Gordon, who shot him in the upper body. Moore was transported to hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Gordon was arrested and formally charged after being positively identified in an ID parade. His court date is being finalized. And that's it for Across Jamaica for this Thursday morning.
JPS. Aye, my JPS app. The mobile app brave as I said hot. With the mobile app, you feel know you can't flop the app. In a happiness, cause what? My JPS app easy, turn a riddle my light. I feel bright than the moon. If I want thing me love me JPS app, me I tell you about it in a the tune. My JPS app easy, turn a riddle for me light. I feel bright than the moon. If I want thing me love me JPS app, yeah we fully outside with the crew. JPS, pouring what matters.
Experience the joy of buying a brand new Hyundai without breaking the bank. Yes, buying a brand new car should never leave you broke. From stylish designs and safety features to comfortable driving and reliability, Hyundai is the choice. Hyundai vehicles come standard with 2 years free service and 5 years warranty and roadside assistance for your peace of mind. Drive 2 years without service cost and 5 years without fear of being stranded. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
The University of the Commonwealth Caribbean Roadshow, the roadmap to your future. Join us for fast and easy registration, informative sessions, one-on-one guidance, and more. Look out for us on March 11, Port Antonio, March 13, May Pen, March 14, Morant Bay, March 18, Mandeville, March 21, Ocho Rios, March 25, Montego Bay, and our last stop, March 28, Halfway Tree. UCC Roadshow, the roadmap to your future. You don't want to miss it. Visit www.ucc.edu.jm for more details.
We're back with you. Of course, we are looking at the Foreign Affairs Minister's response as it relates to this U.S.-Cuba directive. We have with us Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, our Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. And I want to get right into it to ask you, Minister, what is Jamaica's official response to the United States expansion of its Cuba-related visa restrictions at this point?
Much for having me. I know there is a significant public interest in this matter, and I had promised to come back on it, so I am doing so this morning. The first thing I would like to note is that it's not a directive, as you have just referred to. There's a statement was issued regarding a change in policy or an enhancement in policy, and we, of course, have been reviewing our circumstances in that regard. I think the second point I'd like to make is that the Cuban Medical Cooperation Program is very important to us. It has been in place for almost 50 years, which is a significant milestone for any cooperation mechanism by any standard. And it has been operated in good faith by the government of Jamaica across administrations. Coincidentally, our arrangement is at the point where our technical cooperation agreement is up for renewal. It actually expired over a year ago, and it has been in discussion and review, so we're using the opportunity to look at it with fresh eyes. And this process had started before the statement to which you made reference had been made. I would like.
So, is the government minded to renew that cooperation?
Oh, absolutely. We're in the process of that renewal, and I should have made that clear. But absolutely, we're in the process of reviewing the document for the purposes of renewal, and we continue to operate the program regardless on the basis of the last terms agreed. I would like to make the point that we have not taken an adversarial stance on this matter, and that's why I thought it important to clarify that there was no directive issued. A general statement was made, and we have engaged in that context. Our practice of foreign policy in this administration has always been operated with a stance that diplomacy must be pursued to its fullest extent. We have not taken an adversarial point on this matter. And this has been my practice straight throughout since I was appointed minister. And I could even remind you as far back as 2016 when we had the issues with the Trinidadians and people were calling for boycotts. I asked for time to discuss. And after my initial engagement, PM took it from there with Prime Minister Rowley. And of course, the rest is history. So I take this just to make the point of reference that when there are difficult issues, our administration has not taken a bombastic approach. We have always sought to exercise quiet diplomacy as best as possible to get the best result for Jamaica and for the Jamaican people.
On the U.S. side, Minister, have you had discussions with the authorities in the U.S., the U.S. government, and what clarity have they provided?
I'm about to get to that point in terms of our update. So thank you for taking me forward. Yeah. Because the fact is that we're friends with Cuba and we're friends with the United States. And as I stated in Parliament, I have engaged my counterpart, Bruno Rodriguez. I've spoken with him. And we have also spoken with our the U.S. authorities here and informally in D.C. when I was there for the OAS meetings recently. We have met as a Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. We have met with the Ministry of Health and Wellness. And together we have met with officials from the U.S. Embassy here. We've shared perspectives. We've shared information. Our process is well underway, and we're confident that our program is operated as a legitimate technical cooperation program and is safe. There are one or two things which we have reviewed in the context of our labor practices, because in the same context that we say we're friends and we value the medical program, we also believe in good labor practices, and we have our own labor programs. So we have taken the point, or rather taken the stance of reviewing the opportunity to review that is created by the fact that we're in a renegotiation in any event. And we think that the adjustments which are to be made will inure to the benefit of the program and to the workers. And we are confident that our program is a legitimate bilateral cooperation program, which shouldn't cause any concern in respect of trafficking or exploitation.
What's in the operations that you're examining, Minister, and thinking of changing that?
Right. So remember, there's a bilateral cooperation agreement, so it's inherently confidential. So all I would broadly share without getting into the details is to say that we are adjusting the way in which payments are administered, and we are also looking at the ways in which travel documents are managed. I can give those broad headings, but I would simply say that the adjustments which would be made are, I think, positive and to the benefit of all. The Cuban side is open, and as I said, the practices will align with our Jamaican labor practices. The payments, I think Minister Tufton has already said, shared that things are aligned with the terms are aligned with our payments to our government workers, so that there's absolutely no exploitation in terms of that.
And is this something that the U.S. government or the authorities that you've spoken to are amenable to?
They take it in good faith in the same way that, there are specific issues. As I said, the matter hasn't been discussed in an adversarial way at all. So having shared information about how the program is managed, they are able to see, too, that it is legitimately managed and that the areas of concern are being addressed. So we really are quite confident that our process is a productive one. It is not a bombastic one, but it is one that is geared to deliver a positive outcome in the best interest of the participants in the program and the operators of the program, being both Jamaica and Cuba.
And on that point, Minister, for a lot of Jamaicans, the question that we've been seeing swirling around on the media is that they're concerned about their own U.S. visas were Jamaica to make the wrong decision. What assurances can you give to those persons who are questioning that right now?
We believe that we have managed matters in a way that are in the best interest of the Jamaican people. And while we recognize that, every sovereign government has the ability to take decisions on visas and without reason, this is across the piece, we have no reason to believe that there is any such sanction contemplated for us at this time. So Jamaicans can rest assured, if that is their concern, that they should be fine, the workers should be fine, and the program on which we rely for solid and caring medical practitioners is in place and is safe and will only be improved from the work that we're undertaking now with the Ministry of Health.
Kamina Johnson-Smith, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Minister.
Thank you for allowing me to update. I know people have had questions. Appreciate it.
No problem. All right, we're going to take a break and come back with data protection calls. Data protection calls. I'll soon tell you which one it is. So we have some time for calls. The numbers 630-9371-4, 630-9371-4, or Digicel line 618-8255. What are you looking forward to hearing from the Prime Minister when he makes his budget presentation this afternoon? Give us a call. Let us know.
Apply for your NHD refunds at nhd.gov.jm or via the NHD app. Do not click on any links offering to help you. The time by the NHD is...
It's 8:15.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The temperature by Fontana Pharmacy, it's all good inside, is...
25 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, and 18 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
The University of the Commonwealth Caribbean Roadshow, the roadmap to your future. Join us for fast and easy registration, informative sessions, one-on-one guidance, and more. Look out for us on March 11, Port Antonio, March 13, May Pen, March 14, Morant Bay, March 18, Mandeville, March 21, Ocho Rios, March 25, Montego Bay, and our last stop, March 28, Halfway Tree. UCC Roadshow, the roadmap to your future. You don't want to miss it. Visit www.ucc.edu.jm for more details.
All right, we're taking calls. Of course, the lines are 630-937-124 and 618-8255. Ian is on the line. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good, you?
I'm good. I was just listening to the Minister of Foreign Affairs regarding the Cuban
medical mission.
Pardon me?
The Cuban medical mission and the U.S. visa restriction in relation to that.
Yes. The thing is this, I am here thinking and I'm wondering, where is Cuba now? From time to time, we see where Cuba is struggling to manage its economy. And I think perhaps the region needs to look at a way how they can perhaps negotiate with America and Cuba and see if they can bring some resolution to this matter, because I from where I sit, I see Cuba struggling, right? And there are Caribbean neighbors, and regardless of what, I don't view Cuba as a threat to America or the world, and that's my opinion. I more view Cuba as a country who take a stand and is struggling, and perhaps we should look at as a country or the other Caribbean nation, how they can perhaps come together and, negotiate and resolving this matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one point. My second point, which I've not got an opportunity to speak on, is the leader of opposition budget presentation. I spoke to Mr. News on Tuesday before the presentation, and I said to him that there's two things I'm looking for from Mr. Golden. Is that, well, one of the main things I'm looking for is for him to come with a budget of truth. Come with truth. And I am not saying that things that he highlighted are not things worthy of consideration, but to then come to the Jamaican people with just merely ideas and no figures around how these monies are going to be allotted, what it's going to cost. It's really like just going to have you ever been to a wholesale and you see a container and new goods come in and you say, oh, I like this, and you take it up and the cashier said they are not priced as yet? It's sort of something like that that Mr. Golden did to the country. And one of the things I don't like about Mr. Golden is this thing. I heard he made a statement about the Prime Minister going around and saying that the PMP should never be in power again, and it is dangerous and all of those things. I remember when JLP was in opposition, and the then opposition leader, Mr. Andrew Holness at the time, was making a comment on, I don't remember if it was a budget presentation or questioning something of the then Prime Minister, the Honorable Portia Simpson at the time. And Peter Bunting got up in Parliament and tell him to shut up. He will never be a Prime Minister. Never. And to me, that still resonates with me. I never forget it. Because the question that the Prime Minister asked at that time, well, Mr. Holness asked at that time, was a legitimate question. And the way Peter Bunting got up and disrespect him, I have no wonder why Rhoda Crawford had to dump him, because he was so disrespectful to the Prime Minister at that time. So when when Mr. Golden is talking, he needs to be factual and truthful about what he said, because they are more an aggressor towards the Jamaica Labour Party than the JLP.
Well, Ian, what I'll say is this. The context in which the Prime Minister said that had nothing to do, rather, with this threatening of, democracy or anything like that. That was not the context in which he said it. But yeah, those things are not supposed to be statements that make their way to the floor of the Parliament. You come to a budget presentation and you make your presentation, the plans that you have for the country. And I believe that the opposition leader would have, his presentation would have had way more credibility, grounded in credibility, if he had provided, overall costings for some of these headline initiatives, plans that he has announced to the country. He didn't do that, so you have this major criticism of his budget presentation. No, you cannot come to a budget presentation and not give us the budget, at least for the headline initiative. I don't know. Okay, that's your opinion. I wouldn't go that far as to say it's a scam, but it lost credibility points for me.
Tana, listen, you're coming to the people in an election here. Come with truth, man. Jamaica is at a place now where the voters are far more mature than then, People are questioning things. So people don't want to know that, okay, you're going to give me $10 and then take it back $20 another way out of my pocket. People want to know the truth. And I can tell you this. I've been traveling, and I can say this without no fear. Jamaica is on the right stepping stone to becoming a first world country. Why is it that Barbados dollar can stand to the U.S.? Why is it that the Bahamian dollar can stand to the U.S. and other Caribbean country? You know why? When Jamaica should have been growing in the 90s like other Caribbean country, we were busy running with it and running reckless with this country, while our Caribbean counterpart were doing what they're supposed to do. We don't want to go back here. I never forget years ago when I was going to the, when I say years ago, I mean sound old, but I remember when I used to go to the Stony Art Academy, and there was a young lady, every Friday, she keep running till she going home. And one Friday, I said, why you always running home every Friday? And she said to me, in my constituency, every Friday, person get an envelope with money in it. I said, what you mean? She said, why you think PNP always in power? Because they just give people money. We don't want to go back there.
All right, Ian.
We don't want to do that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. See if I can squeeze in one more person before we go to data protection. Papa Nana.
How you do?
I don't think I've ever spoken to you.
Well, let me tell you something. You promote me this morning.
Wow. Good morning.
I'm going to call you my granddaughter.
Very well. Good morning to you.
God bless you. Let me explain something and tell you quickly. The PNP is the greatest spin doctor known. Let me tell you, the opposition leader is using a delay tactics. It's not that he don't have a figures for what he's saying, how he's going to do it, but guess and tell me what happens. He's so tactical that he's waiting on the Prime Minister to hear if the Prime Minister say, well, all right, I'm going to take off, I'm going to give the elderly people $300 for the flat rate for water rate. Then he can say he will give them $2. That is what he's doing. They work it out. They are not that stupid.
Oh.
One day you're following what I'm saying.
Yes, I am.
They worked it out. Let me move from this side here. They worked it out and they know exactly how much it's going to cost. But they are waiting on the Prime Minister to say his part. And then if he said $300, they say, I will give you $200.
So what's the point of the budget debate then, Papa Nana?
Hello?
What's the point of the budget debate then?
No, but they are using the late tactics. It's not that they don't know what is what. They could make an offer, but they're waiting on the Prime Minister to try and defeat what he said.
So
you don't get what I'm saying?
We got clearly what you're saying, Papa Nana.
Yeah, and you know the next thing again that I'm very worried about, because the U.S. visa to a Jamaican is coming like your life. I am really concerned about what Mr. Trump is doing, you know. Mm-hmm. To be honest to you, and I think that the American people should have boycotted every product that Elon Musk make. I do. Because I'm telling you, man, boy, I don't know, honestly. We don't want another Trump in Jamaica either. We cannot take it no more.
Papa Nana, it's as if every day you're just waking up to see, what is he coming with today?
Yes, I mean, man, oh God, man, man. Yeah, look how the Cubans struggle. They try on their own, and the Americans, look what they're doing now, the last thing now. Well, and you know, it's going to come to Jamaica, you know, anyhow we don't do it, they're going to destabilize us.
Well, I don't know about that, Papa Nana, but there are some legitimate points within that report that has informed the policy that the U.S. has come with. But as you heard from our Minister of Foreign Affairs, they're making some changes in relation to how they do their contracts, and the U.S. authorities seem to be amenable to those. But we have to leave it there, Papa Nana. We're out of time.
God bless,
but you should call Nationwide this morning more often, you know.
Good, okay, good. Thank you very much.
All right,
good.
Gonna take a break and come back with more.
Data Protection Matters is brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
Welcome to Data Protection Matters, powered by Design Privacy. I am Chuku Emeka Cameron, and I will be your host for today. On the last episode, I gave my perspective or point of view on the opening budget presentation. And that point of view, of course, was grounded in the data protection perspective or data protection view. By way of quick recap, I'd identified that the minister representing the government outlined had a number of themes or programs that were being pursued and will be continued into the next 5 years. 3 of those themes that I had that were made reference to was the whole question of making significant effort to move away from or reduce the paper-based inefficiencies and transition to a digital-first governance. There was also heavy emphasis placed on the government's broader resilience and disaster preparedness strategies. And she also made heavy weather of focusing on the whole question of public sector modernization and digital transformation. In all of that, there is a missed opportunity. And when I say a missed opportunity, the opportunity to put the Jamaican citizen first and let them understand that you are the citizen is why we're doing these things, and we're taking your interests and putting your interests at the center of our decision around these issues. What do I mean when I say that? I mean, if it is we were to apply the Data Protection Act and conduct our data protection impact assessment, it will require us to literally do that. It requires us to consider each new initiative. For example, one of the initiatives that would be expanded is the MyHR Plus application. It would mean looking at how that application works and intended to work and assessing what impact would that have on the citizen if something were to go wrong. Having identified that, you then ask yourself, what controls do we have to put in place to minimize the impact that it has on the citizen? Too often, we focus or equate that with information security. So a lot of us may step back or lean back and say, okay, so we have that covered. We did our information security risk assessment. No, that is not what we're speaking about. If we were to step back to 2019, the then government of the day sought to implement the NIDS bill. Our constitutional court said no and quashed the entire bill, saying that there were not sufficient safeguards in place to protect the Jamaican citizens' rights. What the government did in response was to build out the rail guards, i.e., they passed the Data Protection Act and established the Office of the Information Commissioner. However, if it is the Office of the Information Commissioner does not have any power to oversee and sanction wrongdoers, if it is the Information Commissioner has deferred the requirement of data controllers to file their DPIAs, is there any protection as mandated, or are there any rail guards that were envisioned by our constitutional court? Let us be mindful of why we are here. Let us learn from the NIDS decision, and let us take the requisite steps to put the Jamaican citizen first. Until next week, walk good.
Data Protection Matters was brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:33.
Skillset Talent Solutions offers marketing, accounting, business registration, logo creation, tax filing, background checks, and recruiting services. Call them at 876-559-3212. The temperature by Skillset Talent Solutions is
26 degrees Celsius in Kingston and Montego Bay, and 20 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
JANAC Global Accreditation, promoting consumer confidence, facilitating market access through internationally accepted accreditation and training services. Accreditation, your visa for global access. Accredited once, accepted everywhere. Call JANAC Global Accreditation at 876-968-7790 or visit our website at www.janac.gov.jm.
Revamp your space with Unique Living sleek fixed and sliding shower panels, shower systems and faucets, stylish vanities, LED and non-LED mirrors, basins and kitchen sinks, closet and storage solutions, hanging aids, and more. Available in different finishes and sizes to match your style. Transform your space and visit us today at shop number 6, 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10. Call us at 876-755-3661 or visit our website at uniquelivingja.com to shop.
I pursue opportunities.
I prepare for opportunities.
I plan for opportunities.
With Sagicor e-Invest, you can prepare, plan for, and pursue IPO opportunities. Browse IPOs, review IPO details and prospectuses. Select and apply for a featured IPO. IPO. With Sagicor e-Invest. Think wealth. Visit sagicor.com.
Haughton's RX, the caring pharmacy, the Yes We Can pharmacy, the Yes It's in Stock pharmacy, the House Call Delivery pharmacy, the RX Pack mobile app pharmacy, the RX Plus digital wallet pharmacy, the 20% reward pharmacy, the easy to remember number pharmacy, 876-RX0RXRX, the easy access 24/7 pharmacy, Haughton's RX, the convenient pharmacy, #wellness, #simply delivered.
Hey there, commuters! Big news! Your JUTC SmartFare cards are here! It's time to swap out those old Smarter cards and step into the future of easy, efficient travel. We know transitions take time, but let's get started. Here's how. Grab your Smarter card and your ID. Bring it to any JUTC ticket office. We will then switch you to a SmartFare card. Top up and voila! Your brand new SmartFare card is ready to roll. No stress. Your balance moves with you to your sleek, upgraded SmartFare card. So, out with the old, in with the new. Right, with SmartFare.
Tune in to Cliff Views Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we broadcast live from the Water Means Food World Water Day Forum and Training Session at Ebony Park Heart Academy, Osborne Store, Clarendon on Thursday, March 20. Join us for exciting displays, exhibitions from agricultural agencies, on-the-spot prizes and giveaways. Plus, get practical training on water use efficiency for your farm. Don't miss out. Come learn, connect, and celebrate World Water Day. So tune in to Cliff Views Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the Water Means Food World Water Day Forum and Training Session at Ebony Park Heart Academy, Osborne Store, Clarendon on Thursday, March 20. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the National Irrigation Commission Limited. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. So we have more time for some of your calls.
Yeah, we should be having one of my favorite segments, Tax and Due, but we are not getting through to them at this particular moment. So we're going to take some more calls with our studio line, 630-9371-4, 630-9371-4, and then 618-8255. We await those calls. We know we had some callers waiting to call earlier. Tana.
What goes in the bowl first, your cereal or your milk? Asking this because there's this whole debate on social media since yesterday. An attorney who normally posts really good advice, legal advice, but yesterday he went off on a tangent.
Litigator guy?
Yes, he went off on a tangent yesterday. I said, well, not talking about law today. What do you do first? What do you put in the bowl first? The cereal or the milk? And of course, people went off in the comments section.
I think it's the milk. But Gary, good morning.
It's the cereal. Hey. Good morning.
Morning.
Gary. Yes,
morning,
good morning.
Anna, morning, Sandra.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're saying the milk, Gary. That's why I called to say the milk first.
What goes in the bowl first, Gary? The cereal or the milk?
No, man, you put the cereal in first, and then you pour the milk.
Yeah.
You pour the milk to the side of the bowl so that it don't get the cereal soggy.
Mr. King, I'm having a bit of challenge with my earphones here, not hearing clearly. No, Mr. King, I'm saying I'm having challenges. Gary's, I don't know what Gary's saying. No, no.
I totally agree.
I won't argue. I won't argue the point. I won't belabor the point. But what I will say, milk first.
Well, on serious matters, Gary, what's on your mind this morning?
So, read the budget and the leader of the opposition's presentation and Junior Robinson's presentation. I really and truly refuse to believe that they spent so much time crafting all of these ideas without any figures behind it. And I think Papa Nana was onto something. I think that, but maybe didn't say it in the right way. But I really think they know the cost of all of these things. They know. But because they know what they would have to do it, and they can't say it, then that's why they leave it out.
The junior spokesperson on finance yesterday, while speaking with us, said it would be premature to come, and give a costing for all of
Tana,
these
I
plans.
saw persons on Twitter, right? When Damon Crawford put forward his idea about for feeding children and whatever, and people were able to drill down easy how much billions it would cost a year to feed children. It's a 1-2 thing that I cannot believe that you have that the leader of the opposition would have so many analysts and financial people at his disposal that he will come up with these ideas and you don't know and you can't say, look here, just like you said, this is going to cost us $10 billion and we're going to take it from the whatever fund or the whatever it is. They must know.
Yeah, I want to go back, Turner. I want to go back to the $1.5 million plan that was purported by the then opposition leader at the time, and Your Holiness, and how that plan, you'd have gone very deeply, dug down
and
into the plan. They fleshed out everything. It was here. They campaigned on it, everything.
It was met with pushback.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody said it couldn't work.
It could work. Yeah, that was a statement. It could work. It was in the newspapers.
And then what happened? As you notice, he stayed far from the $3 million.
Yeah.
He did not touch the $3 million because they know, right? And the next thing, I don't understand. On one hand, you're trying to take credit for the fiscal responsibility and the gains that the country has been made on the macroeconomic level. And the next thing, you're throwing cold water on it. I'm saying people are suffering and people are this and people are that. I don't want to pick your poison. You can't want to take credit for something and then on the next hand, you're throwing cold water and say it's not reaching the people. Because if you're taking credit for that, then you must take credit for the fact that it's not reaching people too. If you are the one who started it and you are the one who did it. I don't understand. Right? I don't know about nobody else. And this thing about this recession thing that people say recession. Jamaica don't look like no country in a no recession. Right? Because I see people spending money every day. Right? Every single day. I don't turn up. You go to a random Tuesday night to a restaurant and they're filled. I'm not talking about fast food restaurants, I'm talking about like fine dining restaurants. And they're filled on a random Tuesday.
Well, definitely back home in St. Elizabeth, my parents keep referencing construction.
Yeah, and if you look and if you notice,
they say it's as if everybody's building.
If you notice the types of business that people are investing in, and those things didn't happen before in the 90s. Those things didn't happen. People take their money, put it in government paper. Right? I heard a young farmer yesterday talking to Cliff.
Yes.
Yesterday, and she was lamenting the fact that she cannot find persons to work on the farm. You understand? Because yes, either people are working, and then or people are just not qualified to work. And I don't understand why is it that people think that when they leave university, their first job was able to give them a $35 million apartment, a brand new car, and allow them to take trips to Colombia and things off them first job. That don't make no sense nowhere in no country. And that's the thing that they're propagating now. That I hear people thinking, say, this rent-to-own thing, going be for the $35 million apartment, them up Jackson and them something,
Oh, no.
That's what they think.
No.
Them think that all of these schemes that they're coming with, young people are able to buy a house. No. They think, say, is not one of the scheme house them over Portmore or the thing the house them think. Them things say the apartment them ain't get no.
No, you can't just go any fancy or places in Jamaica that you consider fancy places to live. Yeah. And believe you can jump into that, and that's a part. Yeah, it will be a pool a pool of houses that are in the rent to own scheme, the NHT's rent to own
But if you
scheme,
notice,
those houses.
drill down that, So persons, if you go on social media, there are a lot of young people on there talking about, oh, yes, they love the idea because now they can't able to get this apartment there and that apartment there. I'm not talking about NHT house or HAJ house them.
Yeah.
Them don't want them start a home there. Them want the apartment them with tool on the roof.
That won't be a part
Yes,
of it.
All right, guys.
All right, Gary.
Thank you, Gary.
Yeah. Can squeeze one more? Oh, it's a time. All right.
Jamaica's Spark program is investing $45 billion to improve roads, water, and telecom. Better infrastructure for a better future. The time by Spark is
8:46.
The Birthday Club is brought to you by Burger King, the best tasting burger under the sun.
Andre's favorite segment on NTM, the birthdays and the anniversaries. Yeah, it's that time of the morning when we tell some special people happy birthday and happy anniversary. Orville McCullough here in the YouTube chat is saying, today's my birthday. Hey to you, Orville, celebrating your birthday today. Wishing for you a wonderful one. Happy birthday to our YouTuber, Orville McCullough.
Yeah, I'm seeing Ranza saying today's my birthday, Tana. Today's my birthday, Tana. I am 66. Thank God he favors me. Wow, a very special happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. Wishing for you a great one as well. Have some more birthdays here. 90 years old today. Elsa Dixon. Elsa Dixon, it's your birthday. You're 90 years old today. Happy birthday to you, Auntie Elsa. Coming from your son, Lenz, your grandchildren, Josette, Deline, Damar, and your great-grandson, Amir. Happy birthday. Wishing for you a fabulous one. Happy birthday greetings also going out. This one says to my sister-in Marcia Williams, 61 years old today. Happy birthday to you, Marcia, over there in Troy, in Trelawney. Happy birthday. And happy birthday greetings also going out to Marlene Morris in Corville Gardens. Hey to you, Marlene. Good morning. It's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Wishing for you a wonderful one as well.
Yeah, Cynthia Phillips, it is your birthday. We're wishing you a very, very happy birthday, Cynthia. Wishing you many more years of just life and the fullness thereof. Gladstone Mitchell, wishing you a very, very happy birthday wherever you are. Hope you enjoy your day. Kevin Butler, happy birthday to you, man. Wishing you more life and more success on this your day. Donna Erica Brown, wishing you a very, very happy birthday. A very, very happy birthday. It's your day. We ask you to, enjoy it. Spend some time and just live in the fullness thereof. What else do we have, Tana?
I'm checking a Facebook, rather the YouTube chats. Facebook. To see if there are any more birthdays. Kalisha Ellis sending happy birthday greetings to her niece, Ashika Curry Basco. She's a teacher at Taki High. Hey to you, educator Shika Curry Basco. Happy birthday to you. The greetings coming from your aunt, Kalisha Ellis. Rider 40 here sending belated happy birthday greetings. He says, or she says, to my auntie Dawn Wilson. God's continued blessings. So belated birthday greetings to you, Auntie Dawn Wilson from Rider 40. And Maisie Dixon sending happy birthday greetings to grandson Dwayne Daxon. Happy birthday to you, Dwayne, from your grandma, Maisie.
Erica Torres, it's your birthday. Wishing you a very happy birthday. Karine Bless Bernard, it is also your birthday. Wishing you a very happy birthday. Wishing you more life, more health, more success. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to my friend and sis from another mother, Antoinette Thomas. Greetings coming from your friend Michelle, your husband Colin, your son Damien, your daughter-in-law Ava Dawn, your granddaughter, and your Hope Center Church family. Wishing you a very happy birthday, Antoinette. And we, of course, hope you enjoy your day, the fullness thereof. And we wish you more life here from our NTM fam and for all and from all your loved ones.
Etta Barclay sending happy birthday greetings to a wonderful friend, a colleague, counselor, and prayer partner, she says, Mrs. Veronica Johnson of Ferry Hill, Portland. Hey to you, Mrs. Johnson. Happy birthday greetings to you. And Etta says, enjoy your special day, Auntie Babs. So happy birthday to you.
The Birthday Club was brought to you by Burger King, the best tasting burger under the sun.
Ain't there something I can give in exchange for everything you give to me?
Seeing the final birthday greeting here, John I. Peters sending happy birthday greetings to Mr. Scott Edwards. Mr. Edwards, it's your birthday. And John I. Peters says, a great man of God, continue to stand. So happy birthday to you from Javon Roden. Happy birthday, Scott Edwards from Javon Roden.
So unselfishly, and I tell you now that I made a vow, I'm giving you the best that I've got, baby.
That's about it for the show. Seeing a final one here, Linda Ming sending happy birthday greetings to Jude Weber. Jude, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Wishing for you a great day. The greetings coming from Linda Ming. And that's about it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide this morning, NTM. Thanks to our technical operator and the musical maestro, Jermaine King. our super producer Michelle McCrae Smith, and our super editor Kimon Thompson. Up next, the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton, and at 10, ClickViews Online, and today they are outside again. I'm Tana.
And I'm Sondre.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
Marjorie has decided to conduct an assessment and inventory check to ensure the essentials are in place to respond to a fire. Smoke detector? Check. Solar power